Bleh.
As a matter of fact, here's a missed opportunity for the original Alien film. All right, ready? We're going to play armchair screenwriter, okay? 40 years later, 41 years later, we're rewriting the end of Alien. So they bring Ash back online to find out how to kill the thing. Ash is admiring it for its perfection and says, it's impossible, you can't kill it, it's indestructible. And so they disconnect Ash again. But before they disconnect Ash, because you'd imagine it is the future, even though it's the future from 42 years ago, Ash is able to download through the cord that they connect to his neck or whatever to turn him back on. Well, maybe he's connected to the actual ship, and he downloads his consciousness into the ship's mother computer and puts himself on the escape pod that Ripley finds herself on, right? Just follow me with this. So he doesn't have a body anymore, but his consciousness still exists. Then everything happens the way that it happens, right? All the way up into the end. Ripley blows up the Nostromo, and as she has a stowaway, which is the alien who's hiding in the pipes. She puts on the spacesuit, right? She puts on the spacesuit to defeat the alien, and then boom, just like this article that we're reading about, using this plot point suggests, all of a sudden, HAL 9000 style, Ash comes back, but as a disembodied voice inside of the ship saying, Ripley, I can't allow you to do that. They have a whole struggle, a whole fight. So not only is she trying to get the xenomorph off of the escape shuttle pod or whatever, doing her whole thing with her grappling hook projectile and yada yada, and blowing it out the airlock and whatnot, but she has to contend with Ash, who's open. They're opening and closing the door. She slams the button down. He brings the door back up. Or no, sorry. She brings the door up and he slams the door back down. And she has to root around. She's ripping out wires, trying, and he's lying to her. He's saying, if you rip out this wire, you're going to destroy the life support, stasis, the hibernation pod that will, preserve you as you float endlessly in space. You will destroy it if you rip those wires out. And Ripley's pretty sure that if she pulls on those wires, she's going to gain manual control of the ship and delete Ash from the ship's memory banks. And it's like this tense back and forth while she's trying to keep the alien at bay. Maybe she dives into the guts of the ship and she's like tangled up in the cords looking for the right wire, and the alien can't quite reach her. Maybe it's like clawing at her feet and it's so close but not quite, and it's shooting its secondary jaws into the piping, and it's just narrowly missing Ripley as she's trying to figure out which wire is going to do the job that she wants in vanquishing Ash from the ship. And she calls Ash on his bluff, or maybe Ash says something that's like a callback to earlier in the script that lets Ripley know that Ash is full of crap. She yanks the wire, and Ash does a full, like in 2001 Space Odyssey, he does the whole, shut down sort of thing. She blows the alien out of the space lock. End of the movie. Or let's say that Alien is a standalone one-shot deal. There are no sequels. There's no continuation. And how about if Ash wins? He wins. He manages to trick Ripley into doing something, and she gets pushed out of the airlock in her spacesuit and floats in the deep cold of space where no one can hear you scream, right? And the alien, much like the original ending of Star Beast, written by Dan O'Bannon, sits down, straps in, starts pushing buttons, maybe and starts talking with Ripley's voice, which is the original ending of that script. Or maybe just gets into the stasis pod and Ash is talking to it and sort of being very motherly towards it. And the alien is on its way to Earth to cause untold havoc. The end. Man, I think both of those both of those sort of rewrites would really be cool little, touches, in the same way that George Romero revisited the Night of the Living Dead script and in some ways improved on it, with his, at least with certain characters, Barbara, turning Barbara into a badass, which that would be interesting to see. I think that would have been pretty cool. So let's see here. Where do we leave off here in our article? Oh yes, about that the series has not taken advantage of this possibility yet.